Hello, ladies and gentlemen, crypto deep divers. Welcome back to Weekly Crypto. Today, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner capitulation. Also, I will touch on coronavirus as well. So before we talk about it, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out the upcoming videos that could be time sensitive. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, library.tv, and Patreon as well for my Patreon group member. I create 2 bonus videos for the Crypto Die Master Patreon. So which gold and silver coin has high resale value? So besides the appreciation of the gold price, there's also appreciation of certain coin you're going to hold to get more appreciation. And also I talk about the next Tezos as well. So if you miss Tezos, this will be the next altcoin to become the next Tezos. Also coronavirus enemy. And of course, there's some indicator for global depression that I never talk about that in YouTube. And where to buy gold and silver. People have a hard time to buy gold and silver at this time because of the physical gold is hard to get right now actually. So so depending on where you go and buy it. And okay, let's talk about the Bitcoin quickly. So Bitcoin, in terms of the BTC USD short position, it looks like they continue to liquidate the short position. That means they probably will pump a little bit to continue to finish liquidate all this position. And in terms of the long position, a lot of long position already liquidate. And let's see. So right now the halving is already finished. So and there's no look at this happy Bitcoin halving the Lambo going to the moon, right? But but the thing is, right now we already I think before the halving, we a few days before, maybe 2 or 3 days before, the pump is all the way. They pump it all the way around 10K, and then it got dumped. And people thinking that we were going to 14K, 12K, but it is not happening. So usually post halving will be usually a dump, right? By the rumors of the news. But do you think this time is different? Maybe a post-halving pump? I don't know. Let's talk about, let me know what you think about this. So I would love to hear from you. So let's talk about potential Bitcoin miner capitulation. So let's look at this. So this will be so this guy tweet about this will be the most brutal Bitcoin halving in history. Production cost is double to 14,000, 70% above the current price. Last halving price was just 10% below production cost, and price collapse negative 20%. So without FOMO now, expect a big minor capitulation. So he talked about potential the capitulation of the miner. So let's so we need to have some background about this. So let's talk about understanding Bitcoin participant, like who is the players in the market, in the Bitcoin market, and the vulnerabilities of the price of Bitcoin driven by the miners. So there's 3 players in the market: investment funds, the hedge fund, venture capital, family offices, institutional investor. They say they are long-term, long-only strategy, right? And they've rarely short. I disagree, because investment fund, they probably push short position as well. And of course, from here they said it's long-term bullish bias. Yes and no. I may not agree with that, because they can also trade the future CME future contract as well. Of course, they can exit their position easily. They can just walk away. So hodlers is the long-term accumulator seeking to maximize the Bitcoin holding, the Bitcoin maximus. And hodlers, of course, they have a long-term bullish bias, and they are not very sensitive to the price volatility and compared to the investment funds. Of course, hodlers can exit the entire position anyway and walk away. So depending on what type of hodlers you're talking about, some hodlers, they freak out, they sell the coin, right? They buy high and sell low, right? They freak out. Then they exit, right? So depending on what type of hodlers you're talking about, not all the hodlers can be hold their coin. I mean, they have they don't have they can lose their money too. So for miners, that is the backbone of the Bitcoin network. Of course, miners have more conviction in Bitcoin because they invest in the mining rig, and then the mining machines and all that thing. And the ASIC mining rig is 3+ years long life cycle. and can be used to mine only SHA-256 protocol, which is mostly entirely Bitcoin, right? SHA-256, 256, and Bitcoin mining facility have 5+ year life cycle, and typically they have using like restructure, warehouse, cooling, mining rate, and on average they took about 18 months for them to break even after they deploy a whole bunch of capital to the mining rig, and then the facility, electricity expenses, and of course the miners are the main driving force to have sell pressure on the Bitcoin network, because they need to cover the expenses, the capital expenses, and also operation expenses for the mining operation as well, right? The sell pressure from the miners' perspective, you can see if Bitcoin price is at 10,000, Bitcoin release per day will be 1,800 Bitcoins, which is worth about 18 million US dollars, right? And per month is 54,000 Bitcoin, which is around 540 million. And of course, per year, over 657,000 Bitcoin, which is around 6.5 billion US dollar. And you can see different layers of the mining network. You can see layer one. Layer one, they have the lowest cost of electricity cost, which is around 0.025 kilowatts, right? And then layer 2 is only cost about 0.03 kilowatts. So this is around 5% and plus 7.5%. And then layer 3 is 0.04, which is 15% of the network. And level 4, which is around 0.05, 15% of the network. Level 5 is 0.05, 20% of the network, 0.06 in the layer 6, 15% of the network, and layer 7 is 0.07, which is 12.5% of the network, and 10% is on the most expensive price, right, in terms of electricity, which is 10%, layer 8. And in terms of the mining machine they're using, of course, the next generation mining rig is the Bitmain the S17, which is consume 50% more energy, but produce 300% more hash power than the older version S9. And basically, S17 has 4 times more hash power than S9. The new version has 4 times more hash power. That means they can mine more Bitcoin, right? So you can see here, if you are layer 2, their cost of electricity is pretty low. And if they're utilizing the S9, then this is the break-even price, 3,800 versus the less efficient. You can see the price of electricity is more than double. And yet, if they're using S17, the cost is 3,682. So this is more efficient than this one, right? Than the level 1, layer 1 and layer 2. And in terms of the hash rate, has been building up since June 2019 because of more powerful machine. And in terms of the electricity, how much percentage this is different different percentage of the network have different price point of the electricity. And in terms of the S9 versus the S17 network, you can see 38% is the S9, which is more inefficient mining machine, and S17, which is 61% of the mining capacity as well. So a majority of the miners using the S17, 61% of the network. And let's see. And in terms of if Bitcoin at 10,000, of course, you have more healthy margin for every single layers, right? Everybody making good money if the Bitcoin price is at 10,000. You can see in the let's see, the layer 8 is the most expensive electricity cost, right? And you can see the shut off Bitcoin break-even price is 9,631, and versus you can see S17 is only 3,006. Ooh, this is like almost like 3 times or 2.5 times. So you can see in terms of the minimum percentage of sell pressure for miners is 39% if Bitcoin is at 10,000. And you can see here at 10,000, 96.3% of the Bitcoin generated by the S9 in layer 8 will need to be sold to cover the cost of the electricity, right? You can see this is the expenses, this is the revenue. Look at this. This is very close, right? So that means they have to sell most of them to just to cover the electricity, the operation cost. And but overall, all the miners combined, the sell pressure is only 39%. If Bitcoin at 7,500, which is, you can see here, there's a whole bunch of break-even point. If they're using the less efficient machine, the S9, then you have different layers, 6, 7, 8 layers. Those will be is a break-even point for them as well, right? And for this layers 8, they're already losing. They are mining at a loss, and this guy is also mining at a loss. This guy is also mining at a loss, actually. All of them are mining at a loss. So that's why the pressure of sell pressure from the miners is higher with the lower price with 52%, because you need to sell more Bitcoin just to cover the cost. And of course, this is talking about the miner capitulation roadmap. So Bitcoin approached a miner break-even price, right? And then the miner margin got compressed and caused them to sell a majority of the Bitcoin. That create more pressure, more sell pressure on the network. And of course, Bitcoin violate the miner's break-even price, causing the miner to operate at a loss. You can see above in the above network, above different layers, they basically mine at a loss. Eventually, they need to shut down, basically. And the miner also have to sell all the Bitcoin they mine just to cover the electricity expenses, and that creates sell pressure, right, to the Bitcoin network. And the extra sell pressure will accelerate the sell up in the Bitcoin and will persist until all this miner operate at a loss, capitulate, right? And that can deplete their balance sheet, and then they can go bankrupt, and that can take about several months. And of course, after the capitulation, this miner finally shut off and then create a reduction in network hash rate. And of course, this will trigger a favorable adjustment in difficulty. So more people, more miners go offline, or they go bankruptcy, and then the adjustment of the difficulty level, that then will be less miner fighting for the same 6.25 per block, right? That eliminate the inefficient miners, and that will transfer the earning to the surviving miners, right? Then that will create more healthy margin for the miner that survive. And of course, that will be less pressure, less sell pressure on the price of Bitcoin. And so this, they talk about 7,500 before the halving. Well, Bitcoin has been have different price point, right? Before the halving, actually, back in April, is that? Yeah. Bitcoin go to around 3,800, right? And then that if you go to 3,800, that's a lot of sell pressure, right? And they're talking about 7,000 before halving. The minimum percentage sell pressure from the miners is 52%, right? You can see all this miners potentially, you can see they are in the red. See, they are mining at a loss, and of course, a break even. So of course, if they are using the S17 machine, that will be more efficient to mine. And they also talk about like 5,000 before the halving, 69% of the sell pressure as well. You can see a whole bunch of layer 6, 7, 8, and 8 already shut down because I shut off the machine, or already shut off, or already go busted, because it's no longer profitable to mine at all. So that's why you have 69% sell pressure. And Bitcoin at 5,000, after all the inefficient miners shut off, then you have a minimum sell pressure is from the miners is 51%. You can see all this layer, they got shut off and using the inefficient machine. And they're talking about Bitcoin post halving at 5,000. Basically, a lot of people got shut off too, right? Look at that. Even the layer 2 and layer 3 miners, they are mining at a loss as well, right? So they need to shut down as well, right? That's like almost probably half of the miners, I guess. So that will be 100% minimum percent sell pressure from the miners. And so this talk about the post halving at 5,000, after all the inefficient miners shut off, then the sell the minimum sell pressure becomes 46%. That means you eliminate the competitor, right? And then eliminate the competitor, then that the halving will the minimum percentage sell pressure from the miners is 50%. So that will eventually post halving all the inefficient miner shut off. Then you can see layer 6 miners, they can earn a 16 million higher profitability using the S17 more efficient mining machine. And even the network reduce 50% of the reward. They can still make good profit if you are using the efficient machine. So this is just basically eliminate the difficulty of minimize the difficulty of mining just by eliminate the more inefficient miners basically. So this is maybe I'm not sure. Let's see one. So they're talking about different price point like 5,000, and then you're talking about 7,500 post halving, and then how the minor capitulation accelerate the bottom. This is like 31% sell pressure. So you can see a whole bunch of miners shut off as well, especially the less inefficient miners. So basically, I think they talk about basically if the less efficient miner shut off, that means the difficulty, the level of difficulty mining will be decreased, and eventually when the price go back up, then that you have less mining pressure, less selling pressure. That's my take on it. So they talk about different, like if it's like 7,500 post halving, then the sell pressure is 31%, and then 10,000. Oh, they're talking about okay, this is already done prior to halving. So this is basically, I think, basically from the take of it is basically just to eliminate the inefficient miners, and once they eliminate the inefficiency of the mining, then the price will go back up, and because there's a less selling pressure basically. This is what they're trying to say. So I don't know if they finished the capitulation yet, or they are coming up with the minor capitulation coming up post halving, or before halving they already did a capitulation. What do you think? Do you think we are done with the minor capitulation, or we are going to do post halving capitulation? And then some people talking about post halving pump as well, right? So I don't know, there's like so many people talking about different things, and at the end of the day it's up to the whale how they want to play the game. Of course, miner play a very important role in the Bitcoin price and market as well, but the thing is the whale is also part of the game as well, right? Because this is such a small market cap, so it's also up to the whale how they play the game. So this is just one of the player, so they haven't talked about the whales, right? The whales, right? So let me know what you think about this minor capitulation. So I would love to hear from you. And what do you think? Do you think we are going to have a minor capitulation coming out, or we are done with that? We already finished. Please comment it below. I would love to hear from you. And remember, crypto deep divers, we the people take control of our money. Stay wise, stay safe, peace. Also, if you find this video helpful, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, also share with your friends. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the upcoming videos. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, library.tv, and of course Patreon as well. And of course, I'm not your financial healthcare provider, investing or the coronavirus. I think it's getting late, so I don't know what I'm talking about right now. So if I'm not your healthcare provider, if you have any question or concern about coronavirus, maybe I'll talk about the coronavirus tomorrow. I just forget right now. So you should consult your physician. Investing in cryptocurrency, commodity, and stock market can have inherent risks. Use your due diligence.